The next topic we're going to talk about today is power in the workplace. This is referring to the ability to influence others in the workplace, and it comes in many forms. First, we have legitimate power, which is also called position power. This refers to the power that someone holds due to their title, such as supervisor, professor, coach, something like that. Because of their position of authority, these people have the power to influence those under them without question. The easiest way to gain legitimate power is to become an authority figure. Next, we have expert power. Expert power is the ability to influence over others that is gained by the perception that you are very experienced or an expert at something. Just like in a trial, when there is an expert on a matter of testifying, their opinion on the matter of their expertise is held higher than the opinions of everyone else in the courtroom. To increase your expert power, make sure that others know your qualifications without coming off as superior. Another power that is described in this chapter is connection power. This power comes from the ability to make relationships and connections with people that help the group towards its final goal. To increase your connection power, you must just simply start networking. Just start meeting people, getting your network bigger. Following this, we have reward power. Reward power is simply the ability to grant someone or promise someone something that's going to be a beneficial consequence to whatever they're doing, which promotes them doing what you want them to do. For example, you might tell your younger siblings that if they keep their mouth shut about something you did, you'll give them a present in surprise. While not the authority figure, this idea of being rewarded still gives you the ability to influence their actions. This leads us to a similar but opposite power, which is called coercive power. Coercive power is the power to influence someone by offering them a negative consequence that is unwanted. This is usually like a boss threatening a demotion if you're late one more time, or it can be a coach threatening to put you on the bench if you're not hustling, or something like that. This power is gained through the threat that is made, which is usually made by someone in an authority position but does not have to be. Finally, our last power of this section is referent power. Referent power refers to the power of influence that is gained by gaining the respect, liking, and trust of your group members. When people start to respect and trust you, it is much easier to influence their actions and thoughts. This leads us to our next section, which is communication in small groups. The book defines small groups as a limited number of people who interact with one another over time in order to reach goals, along with a set of characteristics. Small groups must have interaction. Without interaction, this is just random people at any given place. Small groups rely on interdependence. The behavior of one member affects the entire groups. Small groups require these two characteristics over time as well. To interact for half an hour and then never see each other again does not qualify someone to be a small group. Finally, they must be the right size. There's not too much argument on what is too big of a small group, although the book says around 20 is the upper limit, but the lower limit has often been defined to be 3 members. It is not quite a small group at only 2 members. When working in small groups, it is always important to set up rules and norms. Rules for the group are stated outright and very concrete, while norms are more of an idea that is conveyed through actions and reactions. There are social norms which govern how members interact with each other, which can include what people find appropriate or inappropriate, and even just how much to socialize in the first place. Procedural norms guide operations and decision making. One example of this is to always start on time and to never quit before the goal is reached. Finally, task norms are how members get the job done. This refers to whether it needs to be picture perfect or if they're thinking more like C's get degrees mindset. In small groups, whether assigned naturally or fitted to them, people tend to fall into different roles. There are the task roles, which are the people that provide and seek information and opinions. They tend to be energizers and critics, driving the conversation at hand. These are the ones giving directions and regulating the group efforts. The next role is going to be the social role. These are the people who encourage and give support to ideas that are brought up. They ease the tensions when there's disagreement between members, and they help bridge the gap between that disagreement. These people tend to be empathetic listeners as well. Finally, we have the dysfunctional role. These are those people who are actually idea and discussion blockers. These are the people that are constantly diverting the topic at hand and trying to conversate about some unimportant matter. They're attention seekers and do not take the matter very seriously. Once you know and understand these roles, it's very easy to identify who is which role, and hopefully that'll help you cut out the dysfunctional roles in the group. Lastly, on this topic, small groups require cohesiveness to operate at a high level. Cohesiveness is the degree to which members of a group feel connected to one another. This can be strengthened through focusing on shared goals, celebrating progress, minimizing competition, establishing interdependence, and building relationships with your group members. The final topic I will be discussing today is the advantages of group problem solving. While some people prefer to work alone, I think the majority of us can agree that an outcome is much more easily achieved with the help of others. For starters, with more people in the group, you will have more resources. There's more time, space, brainpower, connections, or money, among many other things that can help you reach your goal quicker. Operating a group also provides a much higher possibility of errors being caught. When there is a whole group looking over something instead of just one pair of eyes, there are more eyes and more perspectives looking at it, which will catch many more errors than just working individually. Group work also enhances the buy-in. This means that members are going to be a lot more motivated and a lot more reluctant to just quit on it if they know that their fellow group members are trying their hardest and giving it their all. Another benefit to group work is that there's much more diverse set of ideas arising. There are many different perspectives coming into it, which can lead to much further insight. Finally, there are just some problems that are made for groups. Some tasks are way too time-consuming or supply-consuming to be carried out by an individual alone.